previous part of God's Council of the Gods, case file 0-01, I spoke about the counsel of God's relationship to the devil and his angels. In this part, I am going to talk about their fall from heaven after Jesus Christ completed work. Earlier we learned that the angels who were the members of the divine council of God became immoral and chose the side of Satan. He became their new leader. Together, they are known as the devil and his angels. Now, we learn that together with the devil, they were all cast out of the third and highest heaven. Checkmate. As a result of their rebellion, together with the devil, the fallen angels that made up the council of God were all cast out of heaven after Christ completed work. The devil and his angels mentioned in Revelation 12 were already thrown out of the third and highest heaven after the Lord completed his mission on earth. Prophetic passages like the ones in Ezekiel 28 and Isaiah 14 are actually talking about just that. I do not think that this has yet to occur during the tribulation anymore, though this can be debated. I actually once had a vision from God which seemed to indicate this to me at the moment. However, after everything I've learned about this while doing research for this show, I've come to realize that it's possible that I had misinterpreted that vision at the time due to my lack of more understanding back then. Now, after all I've learned, I am fully convinced that this has already happened and that it's part of their ultimate deception, the fallen angels and unclean spirits, to make people, especially believers, think that it hasn't yet. I will be explaining why more later, here and in other future episodes of this show and other upcoming projects. I believe it makes perfect sense to just say that Jesus' work caused all of them to be kicked out and barred from heaven for good forever, because he now stands as our advocate before the Father there, which is what was lacking before in the Old Testament dispensation that was keeping them there. I think that a true and proper understanding of the gospel should naturally lead to this conclusion, and anything less than that is simply unacceptable. If you want to learn more about this, make sure to read what I shared in the description box below. Now, let me explain how this applies to spiritual warfare. those sinful angels who have been permanently cast out of heaven have created their own here in the physical world and the heavenlies. Together with the unclean spirits beneath them and the evil human beings who serve them, they govern the nations in darkness. Here's an understanding that's necessary to always defeat the enemy in spiritual warfare. These dark fallen angels preside over all the nations of the world from the first and second heavens only, while continuing to operate as a council, but now under Satan, just as they did before when they were in heaven under God. As a result of Christ's completed work, which got them kicked out and barred from heaven permanently, they no longer have the ability to go before God to accuse believers or future believers to Him, as was the case prior to that. They can only attack believers by accusing their consciences against themselves. But by constantly affirming Christ's victory, we overcome this. Read Revelation 12:11. Ephesians 2:2 and 6:12, besides showing that they are hierarchical and organized, also show that they only have power over the darkness of the world, that is, people living in sin, as they themselves are darkness, like we read earlier in Psalm 82:5. After Christ's completed work, the council in heaven was then replaced by holy angels and certain believers in heaven. Read Revelation 4 through 5. Notice the reversal. The devil and his angels are cast out of heaven to await punishment in the lake of fire after Satan's release from prison in the future. While Old Testament believers who before didn't have access to the third and highest heaven, and New Testament ones are brought up to replace them throughout the duration of the church age to forever. Though it's not hard for us to accept that God would have holy angels replace the fallen council, it may be hard for some of us to accept that He would allow believers in heaven to replace them too. However, that's exactly what Revelation 4 through 5 seems to show. Jesus may have also been hinting at this when He sent the 70 disciples out in Luke 10. Lastly, John 1:12 shows that the Father has given believers the power to become the new sons of God. And Ephesians 2:6 also shows that living believers currently reign with Christ.